My name is Joe. These are just opinions. I am Joepinionated. Welcome to the 25 Best. Today we're doing the 25 Best Albums from Prince. Prince is a virtuoso musician, mystical figure in the world of entertainment, a mythical, a one-off, music genius, all that stuff. Incredible guitar player, incredible singer, incredible bass player, incredible keyboards. I'm not my favorite drummer, unfortunately. I'm not too big on Prince's drumming. The guy put out just a ton of music, inspired so many myths and stuff surrounding this guy who passed away a few years back now. Tragic. Apparently just, Paisley Park is his big compound there in, Minnesota, Minneapolis. Apparently has, a vault filled with, hundreds, thousands of songs. He did put out quite a bit of music, got started around in the late 70s and all the way up to his death. Was putting out tunes pretty consistently, an album or two a year. In the Taste Like Music Discord, where we did a deep dive of Prince a few months ago. Joe and Jason, those guys, check out their channels. Pretty great. Joe is a massive Prince fan. I'm not a massive Prince fan. A lot of these were first-time listens for me when I went through the discography. It's not fresh in my mind. Made good notes. Do my best. I'm going to do the top 25. I'll mention how I have the other ones ranked in a bit. Top 25 for me, Prince albums. Number 25. Number 25 comes from 2004. 2004, I believe he has 3 albums that year. The Chocolate Invasion. Chocolate Invasion it had a lot of great tracks on it. I have it at 3.5 stars for the Chocolate Invasion. So 3.5 stars at album number 25 is pretty good. So the Chocolate Invasion, number 25. Volume 1, tracks from the NPG. Number 24 comes from 1994. The album is Come. Great pacing. And a lot of the albums do have, are well constructed. I'm not crazy. Prince's skits, the fluff between real songs, are awful. I can't stand them. They're the worst. Are up there with the worst. And there's a lot of bands out there that do this. Most famously on rap albums, like the rap skits and that stuff, I find way more entertaining than Prince's skits and between song banter. But this album doesn't have a lot of that, which is nice. I think it really kind of builds, and I think the second half of the album is better than the first half. Papa, Race, and Dark are probably 3 standouts for me on this one. Number 24, I'm going with the album Come. Number 23 from 1988, I'm going with Love Sexy. Once again, I have it at 3.5 stars, ranked on Rate Your Music. A couple standouts for me are Dance On, the title track, Love Sexy, and the opener, I Know. Number 22 from 2015, HITnRUN Phase 2. So this is one of the final releases, HITnRUN Phase 2. I preferred it over HITnRUN Phase 1 myself, and that's sort of back and forth throughout all the rankings I've seen. Number 21 from 1978, his debut record, For You. 3.5 stars. Obviously a little bit of a different sound, but it's amazing how fast he gets into his own thing. So you can hear it on his first album, just what he is and what he's going to become. Incredible vocals. This album starts off hot and ends off hot. The middle of the album does soften up a bit. I really like For You, the opening number. I really like the last couple songs, So Blue and I'm Yours. Number 20, I might take a little bit of heat for this one. This is just where I ranked them when I listened to all of them in a row. I'm going with 1987's Sign of the Times. A lot of people's favorite album. I really love the title track. Sign of the Times is definitely one of my all-time favorite Prince songs. And You Got the Look, I really like that too. And The Cross. Prince is like a pop writing genius. His thing is pop music. He does have some rock on some albums and stuff like that. He's such a killer guitar player that he can just do that. I really like the pop touches on Sign of the Times. Big album, double LP. Number 20 is Sign of the Times. Number 19 from 1981, we're going with Controversy. Still sitting at 3.5 stars overall. 3 standout tracks for me on that album were Let's Work, Sexuality, and the opening track, Controversy, the title track. Love it. Prince got a thing for title tracks. His title tracks are pretty incredible. Great way to name an album. You just take your best song off the album. That's the name of the album. It seemed to work for Prince quite a few times. Going Controversy, number 19. Number 18 comes from 2006. We're going with 3121. Love the title track, 3121, and Fury. Fury is actually my favorite song on the album, so it doesn't quite make title track status, but 3121 has some great bangers on it. We're still at 3.5 stars. Number 17, I'm going 1979 self-titled album, Prince. That's one where he's got his shirt off and he's got that greasy mustache. Love the song Bambi. Love the song Still Waiting. Love the song I Feel For You. And my favorite song on the album is the opener. Again, I Want to Be Your Lover. So maybe if you're getting into Prince, just check out the opening track on every album. You're probably going to do best that way. Cool album. Actually, Dean Ween, when Prince passed away, Dean Ween of the band Ween, who are massive Prince fans, he did a video on YouTube or Facebook or something like that where he showed off his Prince collection. And he talked about, and he had hundreds of like the 12-inch singles and, pretty much all of his albums and stuff like that. It was pretty cool. And he stopped on this album and kind of talked about it a bit. And I remember that was the next day or whatever, I went out and listened to this album for the first time. So I go up to 3.75 stars at this point. Total signs of what's to come and some really killer tracks. I Want to Be Your Lover. It definitely would make my top 10 for Prince tracks, or would be close anyways, it'd be close. Okay, so for number 16, also from 2004, like I said, there's 3 albums from that year, and all 3 of them make my top 25. From 2004, I'm going with The Slaughterhouse, which is another one of these NPG albums from 2004. I'm up to a 4-star rating on this one. I love the S&M groove. The whole album is peppered with 4-star songs. S&M groove being my favorite track on the album. Contemporary R&B. Kind of reminds me of, like D'Angelo and things like that, right? Where you get that real funky, progressive soul. Number 15, from 2001, I'm going with the Rainbow Children, number 15. This one has a bit more of that jazz funk influence in it. There are some, like I said, some straight jazz albums, and I quite enjoy those ones from Prince, where it's just virtuoso, great playing. This album has a few 5-star songs on it, also 4.5. Last December, I got it 4.5. The Everlasting Now, I have it as a 5-star song. 1 + 1 + 1 is 3. I have it as a 5-star song. The Rainbow Children, the opening track, the title track, great too. Pretty much every album from here on out, I quite enjoy. Number 14 comes from 1999. The Vault, Old Friends for Sale. This one has 5 women plus. Has the track Sarah, which I quite like as well. One of my favorite Prince songs. Number 13. Number 13 was an album that I was very familiar with going into the deep dive that I've liked for a long time, and I honestly thought it would finish in my top 3, but it's at number 13, which is kind of crazy how much I ended up liking some of the other songs or albums I wasn't as familiar with. I got it at 4 stars. I'm going with 1991's Diamonds and Pearls. Diamonds and Pearls gets a bit of a boost from me because of my love for the song Cream. I think Cream is one of Prince's best songs. Cream right on top. Live for Love is another great way to close an album. And Thunder is the opening track I quite like too. There was always kind of this power struggle between Michael Jackson and Prince, and this song came out, and it was just, Cream came out, and it's such a huge hit, and, I felt at this point like Prince was moving ahead of MJ as, biggest pop star in the world kind of thing. Diamonds and Pearls is number 13. Number 12 comes from 2003. The album is Expectation. He always had some sexually explicit song titles, things like that. Playful. In this album, every song starts with the letter X. And my favorite track is Expand. I got it at 5 stars. The whole rest of the album I love. Silky Smooth. I've got it at, this one is one of the jazz fusion albums, smooth jazz. I love it. Expectation. I've got it at number 12, 4-star album. Number 11 from 2003 as well. I've got the album News, News. News. That's a 4-star album for me. This one's only got 4 tracks on it. Another jazz-inspired album. I quite like North, South, East, West. I have all 4 at 4 stars. And great album. Definitely one that I want to add to my collection. I got it at number 11, Prince News. Number 10 for me comes from 2009, Lotus Flower. From 2009, MPLSOUND, Elixir, Lotus Flower. Incredible recordings on this one. I really like the Prince tracks later on in the album. Some standouts for me are You're Gonna See Me and Here and Valentine, kind of that stretch of songs later on in the album. So Lotus Flower I've got at number 10. Number 9 comes from 1995, and it's The Gold Experience. And this is by the artist formerly known as Prince. Favorite track is 319. Starts off hot. There's a couple skits and stuff like that on this one, which are awful, horrible. So I've got all those ranked at really low. But the average for the real songs, I've got around 4 stars. This is a 4-star album for me. The Gold Experience from 1995. Number 8 from 1982, I'm going with the album 1999. Title track, 1999, definite standout for sure. Little Red Corvette, incredible, infectious pop song. I think the entire album is super solid. Automatic would be my other standout track on the album. I still have it at 4 stars. I mean, it's definitely pushing at 4.25. Number 8 is 1999. Number 7 comes from 1980. The album is Dirty Mind. I mean, this is, only his 3rd or 4th album, but this is just a massive leap forward in my mind. Dirty Mind is great. Standout track for me is the song Head. The album is super solid, start to finish. Really, really great album. The synth funk, the early 80s stuff. He kind of stands on his own. It's almost his whole own avenue is Prince. Prince is just Prince. He does his own thing. There's obviously disco still kind of burning at this time, new wave, all that sort of stuff. And then there's Prince. Still have it at 4 stars, but it's a high 4 stars for sure. Number 6, I'm going with one of his 4 albums from 1998. I'm going with The Truth. So this is when he's the artist, formerly known as Prince. Standout tracks for me on The Truth are Circle of Armor is standout, Third Eye, Man in a Uniform. I have all of those tracks at 5 stars. This album is where we bump up to 4.5 stars for Prince. I'm going with The Truth at number 6. Number 5 for me comes from 1996, and I'm going with Chaos and Disorder. Tracy Morgan on his 2nd comedy album, I can't remember what it's called. Maybe it's called Decadence and Debauchery. It might be, but he has a skit called Decadence and Debauchery. Chaos and Disorder always reminds me of this. But where he goes over to Prince's house. Tracy Morgan goes to a party at Prince's house, and it's just absolutely hilarious. I love it. So check that out. I'll put a link for it in the description below. I always put the playlist for all of my favorite. I'll put the playlist for all my favorite Prince songs in the below. Playlist will be on my YouTube channel as well. Check out the description for that. Chaos and Disorder, favorite tracks. I've got a lot of 4.5 songs on here. Zannalie, Right the Wrong, The Same December, and I like it there. Number 4. This one might be a little bit controversial, but number 4 for me is the Batman soundtrack, Batman, from 1989. Yeah, some people aren't crazy about this album. I quite like it. But I grew up with it. And same thing, I had a cassette when I was a kid, and I just liked this album. I thought it was kind of cool. I wasn't big into Prince when I was a kid. Like I said, I was more into kind of the, Guns N' Roses and that sort of stuff. I always liked Bat Dance. It's another controversial thing. My favorite songs on the album are Electric Chair and Party Man. That's for the Tim Burton Batman. Just the logo when it came out even. I remember just thinking like the album cover was cool and just wanting to buy it. as a kid into Batman. What I thought of Prince at the time before that was just, I thought he was just like soft, like, wuss music, it's kind of how I saw it. And then, he did the soundtrack to Batman. That's all forgotten about. Number 3 comes from 2014, Plectrum Molectrum from 2014. I've got it at number 3, 4.5 star album. My favorite from the later period. Solid funk rock album, start to finish, just pretty heavy. This one where he brings in it's Prince and Third Eye Girl, or the Third Eye Girl. I just think it's a great album. I love the way it sounds. A lot of the 80s Prince, sometimes the drums drive me a little bit nuts. I'm not crazy about that drum sound. The band sounds incredible on this one. I love the recording. Plectrum Molectrum. Standout songs on this album for me are the title track, again, and Another Love would be probably my second favorite song on the album. Number 2, the obvious one from 1984, Purple Rain. I've got it at 4.5 stars. I mean, it's probably a 5-star album. 4.75, let's say. It's pretty damn near close to perfect. I'll give you that. Obviously, the title track, Purple Rain. What an incredible song. I love that Super Bowl performance he did in the rain. Incredible. Let's Go Crazy, the opening track, is super fun. Sounds great and an awesome car stereo. Take Me With You, another amazing track. Computer Blue, amazing track. Darling Nikki, probably my first favorite from this. And I really love, Foo Fighters did an album of covers, and I thought their version of Darling Nikki was great. Darling Nikki obviously sparked the controversy, or the Tipper Gore thing, where Dee Snider and Frank Zappa, fought Tipper Gore and the wives of congressmen over parental advisory and freedom of speech and all that. Obviously, When Doves Cry, I Would Die For You. It's awesome. Arena rock album soundtrack to this, cool show. I honestly don't really even like the movie that much, but I do really like the soundtrack. I think this is a great album. And number 1 all time for me on my top 25 Prince albums, we're going with Musicology from 2004. We got it at 4.5 stars again, 4.75, let's say. This one goes out to Dawn, who's a huge Prince fan, and certain that most of the Prince I heard growing up even was around Dawn. I'm pretty sure that Musicology is one of her favorites. I was discussing my deep dive with her a few months ago, and she had mentioned that too. My favorite tracks on the album are Cinnamon Girl, If I Was the Man in Your Life, Illusion, Coma, Pimp, Circumstance. Really cool neo-soul, pop rock album, funk rock. I just think this is where Prince does everything the best. Musicology, number 1 best album from Prince. So remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff in the comments. Huge respect to Prince. I realize some people have got, ratings different and all that sort of stuff. These are just my honest rankings. I'm sorry I'm a little low on facts, high on opinions. Check the channel out. Got lots of cool episodes upcoming. Christmas movie marathon just around the corner. Also, year in review, 1990 all the way to 1995, 25 best albums, 25 best songs for each year with massive playlists. I got 100 best songs for each year in the playlists on this channel, Joepinionated. So like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Catch you on the next one. Respect to Prince. Rest in peace. We out.